You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 373 for Sunday, the 8th of August, 2021.
Where dreams begin.
Well, hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Good morning there, Janie.
Good morning, Michelle. It feels like only yesterday that we saw each other.
I know. We could have actually recorded in the same room, but we were too busy having fun.
Yeah, too busy chatting and walking and drinking coffee, weren't we?
Yeah, I think I made about 87 million coffees over the day. It was unreal. It was like I was a Starbucks barista.
Well, I know how much you love Starbucks, you see, so I just wanted to give you that experience.
Oh, thank you. And talking of Starbucks, just listen, see if you can guess. Guess what came in the mail today?
Well, I'm hoping it's something Starbucks coffee related, but
it is.
With that noise.
It's a very nice care package from the wonderful David Maruka. He has sent me the Connecticut Starbucks mug. It makes my coffee taste even nicer because I'm imagining David's here with me enjoying it. So cheers, David, and thanks for all the other goodies. I got an orange bird jersey. Yay! I know.
It's a good job it's arrived today, Michelle, when we're recording in separate buildings rather than yesterday when we were in the same building together.
Yeah, you'd have hijacked it, wouldn't you?
Maybe. Possibly.
You would have. But David very kindly, I sent him some dollars and he very kindly picked it up for me earlier in the year, and he sent it across with a whole load of Disney Star keys, which was very much appreciated. So cheers, David. That was a nice little link to that, and the coffee's going down very, very nicely. But Jenny, before I start prattling on with 101 things, I'm going to enjoy my coffee while you can regale us with some On This Day in Disney history.
Oh, I see. This is a ploy that you get to drink your coffee and I get to talk.
Yes.
Right, okay. All right. We're going to go to the 9th because we can. Because we're going to be a bit, what's the word? Yeah, liberal with our On This Day in histories. So 1899, that's a little bit of a while ago, isn't it? Somebody called P.L. Travers was born.
Ooh.
I think we might know a little bit about P.L. Travers, don't we? Because if it was not for her, we would not have Mary Poppins. Date of when she was born. Lovely lady who Disney eventually managed to persuade to allow Mary Poppins to be made. So yeah, go and see Saving Mr. Banks. It'll tell you an awful lot more about her than I can possibly tell you. We're going to then jump forward in time to the 1950s and 1955 we're going to go forward to. And this is when in Disneyland the Aunt Jemima Pancake House opened in Frontierland. And guests apparently were greeted at the door by Aunt Jemima herself. Don't think that would be happening nowadays, would it? No, can't see that happening. This obviously then later on became known as the Riverbell Terrace. But this did stay in place until 1962. So it was there for a little while anyway. We're then going to move over to the 10th of August. Like I said, we're going to be liberal with our dates this week on history. We're going to set sail. Get this. You'll like this in a minute. To 1934. I'm trying to be clever with my wordage, because this is when Walt and Lillian Disney actually went to visit Hawaii for the first time, and they went over from Los Angeles aboard the Matson Line's vessel, the SS Lurline, if I pronounced that correctly, on their first visit to the Hawaiian Islands. I'd like to go to Hawaii at some point. Can't think where it would be I'd stay, but
Maybe Alani. A good friend of mine is actually over there at the moment, the wonderful Nan, and she's sending some beautiful pictures of how wonderful Hawaii is looking, so I'm very jealous of her tucking into her Kona coffee in the morning.
Oh, doesn't even bear thinking about, does it? Well, it does, but only because we can't get there.
True.
We're going to take a massive jump forward now, all the way from 1934 to 2010. Just a little jump forward. And this was all the actual launch of the Disney Channel in Russia.
Ooh.
Didn't know they had it in Russia. Don't know why I hadn't thought about them not having it in Russia. But yeah, they've got it in Russia. Apparently replaced their children's television channel called Jetix. None the wiser for that. But there you go. So Disney Channel started off in Russia in 2010. And then we're going to round out. Again, we're going to jump forward another day. But I think you might appreciate why I'm jumping forward to this day, Michelle, because it's August the 11th. I'm going forward to the year of 1983. This was the year my penultimate year in senior school. This is going to make me feel really old now, isn't it? I can't believe I've just worked that out. As I said, 1983. I thought, what was I doing in 1983? And then I thought, oh yeah, it was like, yeah, my last year, second to last year of school. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth was born in 1983. This is why I'm feeling old. Oh my goodness. So yes, Mr. Thor himself was born in 1983 in Melbourne, Victoria, in that old Australasia place.
Four or four.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm feeling very old now when I'm lusting after him and realise when he was born. Because anybody born in the 1980s, I'm sorry, but it just does my head in, because the 1980s was when I was growing up. So when people are born in that era, I just can't get my head around it. But I'd get my head around Mr. Hemsworth. You know, I would do my bit for the show, and I'd quite happily interview Mr. Hemsworth if ever he fancied being interviewed by two little old British girls. We'd do it, wouldn't we, Michelle?
I'm sure we'd struggle.
Yeah, we'd make a sacrifice for our listeners, wouldn't we? Should we move on now?
Yeah, go on then. So is that all our history for the moment?
It is, my darling, yeah. A little bit sporadic, but yes, there we go. That's our history for the early part of August.
Okay, well, I'm going to go to a theme park that I suppose is much in our hearts, and particularly their evening spectacular. I was the world's biggest fan of Illuminations, along with many other people will also echo that sentiment. Harmonious is springing forth.
It is indeed. October the 1st is debut, I believe.
Yeah, and I've got a little bit of audio here that I have kindly borrowed from the Disney Parks blog. Thank you, Disney Parks blog, but I hope you don't mind me sharing. But I am publicising your fireworks show. And it gives a little bit of behind the scenes of Harmonious, and I thought I'd just share it with you because you might not have had an opportunity to listen in on the old internet.
Harmonious is our newest nighttime spectacular. It will be happening on the World Showcase Lagoon at Epcot. It's a wonderful opportunity to not just celebrate the music, the stories, the characters, but to actually honor and celebrate the cultures that inspired those films.
Harmonious is an amazing story. It captures the music and the energy of our characters in a way never before imagined.
The show is built in a three-act structure. The first act is entitled Gather. It's where we gather everyone around the World Showcase Lagoon and make them part of our world family. The opening is so wonderful because you have all these international languages, and I keep waiting to hear myself within it. And when I do, I feel a part of it. And that's really what we want our guests to feel, is to feel like they are a part of Harmonious. The way the characters are represented, a lot of times they are silhouettes. And we did that on purpose so you could put yourself into that role of the character. Act 2, entitled Celebrate, basically goes into the World Showcase pavilions. So what it becomes is a wonderful trip around the world as we're going from continent to continent in a celebration of the world, but through Disney, and something that everyone here will, I think, really enjoy. So we enter the last act of our show, which is Unite. It takes you and it takes the spirit of what Epcot's about the world can be one united place, and it really puts it front and center in the lagoon. And then you, as our united family, can come together and see that with your united family.
When this show hits, I believe it will bring people together in a way that has such a power that you normally would never expect out of a theme park show or an experience.
When we do these shows, I look at them as, how are we as artists, able to come together and give you inspiration. And that's what's special, is that you can go and inspire anybody. These shows can inspire, our music can inspire, our films can inspire, and really light the way for the future, because that's what Epcot's all about. It's not about just staying where we are, it's about looking to the future as a global community.
I must admit, Jane, when I've seen pictures of Epcot during the day with this sort of like big ring in the middle of World Showcase Lagoon, I was thinking of 101 things that you could do with that ring to make it more appealing than just the ring.
I have heard it referred to as Stargate.
Stargate. Yeah, I could get my kids at school to write a portal story about walking through the harmonious archway. And they turn out at the other end. Oh gosh, wouldn't it be great if we could get transported to Japan?
Hey, well, no, what we need to do is make one of the same rings here in this country, and then we'll be able to get to America just like that within the flick of a finger.
That's it. Guys, who's with us? Come on, let's all make this together. All us Brits try and make this harmonious ring Stargate type machine in this country. American friends, can you go and do your diddly whatsits with it to try and get it to accept us? And then we could maybe reach out to our other friends in different parts of the world to make their own, and we can all converge and have a massive Disney Dream Girls meet-up in Epcot to see Harmonious.
I'm liking the idea, Michelle. I think it might be a little bit far-fetched, but I'm going with it. I'm all there with you, love.
You think I say things that are far-fetched?
Not all the time.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
All right, okay. Anyway, let's go back to Harmonious.
Yes.
Before we go down a complete tangent and Kat and Lewis will be screaming copyright because we've stolen their idea. It's going to be starting on the 1st of October. Mm-hmm. I know of quite a lot of good friends will be down in the park at that time to go and see it. So I'm hoping they'll report back to us for us landlocked Brits over here. It looks interesting. It really, really does. And I hope it comes across as beautiful and as moving in person. And I think for me, pictures, videos don't really give it away. You need to be there in person to get the feels.
Yeah, I think I think with any Disney fireworks, nighttime spectacular, particularly with the lights of illuminations, and for me it was Wishes as well. When you're immersed in that spectacular and they have those pieces of music and the story that they're trying to tell with it, that's when you get all the feels and you get all the lump in the throat and I'm not going to cry type moments. So I think it's a little bit difficult to fully appreciate now because obviously we're only seeing little clips and we're just getting to hear about the ethos behind it, the little story, the message that they're putting behind it at the moment. So it's difficult to draw any judgments now. I think it's a case of, yes, wait and see and hope we get lots of lovely reports coming through from the day itself when it does finally debut. And then hopefully it won't be that long, she says, in desperate hope that the likes of you and I can get out there to see it for ourselves and experience the emotion that goes with it.
Yeah, and I feel quite sad in a way because you've not been to the park since 2013, so you never got to experience Happily Ever After, and that ends on the 29th of October, so that's a whole generation of firework knowledge at the Magic Kingdom that you've been excluded from, which I feel quite upset about, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it does make me upset as well, Michelle, but I appreciate things move on and things change. I think, I try not to spend too much of my time down the Disney rabbit hole of YouTube and internet, etc. And when there's things like the fireworks shows and one thing or another, and if I think I'm going to get a chance to see it in person, I will tend to stay away from watching too much of something because I don't want it to be completely spoiled. Like Rise of the Resistance, for example. I know roughly what Rise of the Resistance is all about, but I've not gone and sat down and watched a complete ride-through of it because I know that would spoil the whole effect when I do get to experience that attraction. The same with fireworks and parades and the rest of it. So I think I probably will have to now go and dig out and watch complete, videos encapsulation of Happily Ever After, just so I know what it was all about. But yeah, there's always going to be that tinge of sadness. And I suppose from my own personal point of view, we had plans that the way our lives were kind of panning out, 2020 was going to be our year to go back to Disney. So when the whole, whatever you want to call it, cracked off, this was the point in our lives that everything was getting aligned, that, Simon and Jane were going to go back to Disney. We were talking about going for 3 weeks. We were like all in. We were like going to make it, a really big vacation because we'd not been for so long. And it's like, okay, I'll just go back to dreaming again, shall I?
Well, we'll get there, lovely. We will.
We will do, yeah.
Can't put a pin in it right
I know,
just yet.
That's kind of the frustrating, because as we've said before, a lot of going to Disney is all about the planning and the excitement and the build-up. I can't even do that at the moment because I just daren't put a pin in any date because who knows what's going to happen.
I'm with you, darling. I'm with you.
Sorry, digressing.
But let's move on. And for many people, when they think about the Disney Dream Girls podcast, they think about Jane and her keto lifestyle and me and my lifelong obsession on desserts. So I found something that we could actually get in a Disney theme park that marries our two loves perfectly. It's us encapsulated in a dessert.
I'm guessing that it probably favours you more than it does me, Michelle.
Well, no, bear with me, Jane. Bear with me.
Okay.
So there's a place in Epcot called the Donut Box.
Right.
Okay. And
not very keto at the moment, but carry on.
Bear with me. It's an encapsulation of our togetherness.
Oh,
They
okay.
sell yeast donuts, okay?
Right.
And they have a donut of the day, which curiously changes every couple of weeks.
It's not really donut of the day then, is it?
Not really, but they had one and it just made me think of you.
Okay, thank you.
It's a maple bacon donut. See, how much more keto could a donut get because it's got bacon on it?
Yeah, but so basically, I get the slice of bacon off the top. Is this what you're saying? And you get everything else?
Well, no, we'd get one and enjoy it each. You're on holiday. Calories don't count. You will eat that donut, love, whether you like it or not.
To be fair, this is the one advantage of going on a Disney vacation is you do that much blooming walking. I would be able to allow myself a little indulgence once a day or so.
And I don't think it's badly priced. It's $5, and
Okay.
inside the donut, it's got a filling as well of like a maple icing filling in the middle, as well as on the top, and sort of bacony goodness on the top. Now, while I was looking at their menu and perusing, another donut of the day is the cookies and cream donut, again $5, and this is one for my lovely friend David, because David Maruka loves Oreo cookies. He's always posting pictures on Instagram of 101 different types of Oreo cookies, which gets me really, really annoyed because I can't get them in this country. And I shouldn't really eat them at the moment because I'm being a good girl. And it's a cookies and cream donut, which has Oreo pieces on top.
Well, I have to confess that I have two favourite biscuits of all time. My first is a half-coated chocolate digestive, and it has to be dark chocolate.
Oh,
Even
dark,
before the days
yeah.
of keto, I was always a dark chocolate digestive. And my other favourite biscuit of all time is an Oreo cookie. Traditional. I'm not bothered about the different flavours. You know, I'm old school. I do love, and I am always drawn. You know, if you go to an ice cream place and they've got a cookies and cream ice cream, or anything that's got a cookies and cream vibe about it, I do tend to go for it if I'm being a bit naughty and allowing myself a treat. So I'm with David. Oreos all the way for me.
And I'm 100% right with you. It was a little thing of mine whenever we went to Walmart in the US, I'd get a selfie with whatever pack of Oreos I could find, because it was Oreos are one of the things that I tend to bring home with me, because the range in this country is quite limited, but also if they're imported from overseas, they can be quite pricey. I've seen packets of Oreos going for like £6-7.
Yeah, I mean, it's only really probably in the last, 10, 15 years that we've actually seen proper Oreos over here anyway, I would say. So, I mean, I remember, years and years gone by coming back from the States, and it's like not being able to get anything over here at all. And you say, we are lucky now that they are produced for the UK market. And like you say, you can get these little American candy shops that will sell you all those little reminiscences of being in the States, and it's blooming expensive.
Yeah. So anyway, back to donuts.
Yeah, okay. More.
Okay. So then I sort of thought about, well, there are many incarnations of donuts that you can get. Now, a lot of them are like these pre-packaged, pretty bog standard, boring ones. But you can get some really zhuzhy ones. And it seems to me there's another one at Epcot that you really do need to try. And it is a bombalato. And it's basically a warm donut with a scoop of Italian gelato in the middle.
Ooh.
I really like that idea. However, I recall going to the France Pavilion and getting the ice cream brioche sandwich and being really disappointed about it because really the brioche for me and the ice cream and the sauce didn't work. So maybe the warm donutiness and the sugariness might work better than the briocheiness. I don't know.
You know what? Sorry, I'm obviously getting retro mode today. All I can think of when I'm thinking of like a cakey pastry and ice cream, I'm thinking of an Arctic Swiss roll.
You can't beat an Arctic roll, can you, love? For those of you in the States who don't understand, it was basically a cylinder of bright yellow ice cream, and then there was very thin sponge that had a layer, very, very thin layer of raspberry jam, which you guys call jelly, and this sponge was wrapped round this piece of cylindrical ice cream.
Yeah, it's like a log of ice cream, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't very long. It was like from the tip of your finger to maybe your wrist, and you get a slice of it on Sunday afternoon as a little treat.
Yeah.
And it was like the highest level of decadence in the family. We having an Arctic roll. Oh my word. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, crikey. Can I just do a little shout out there while we're talking about donuts?
Go on.
Because I can say, we can be very jealous of seeing all the donuts that they get in the States, and especially over in Disney with places like the Donut Box and Everglazed and one thing and another. I will have to give a shout out to my local donut company. I live near Nottingham, and there's a company called Donuts, which I know you've experienced, Michelle.
Ah, sweet sugar coma.
They are kind of on a par, aren't they? Because they do these amazing donuts. I mean, and they're probably about £3.50, £5 per donut, but they are worth the indulgence because they just do some amazing concoctions.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not looking for freebies or anything. I promise you. I've just thought, we do it well in Britain sometimes, and we'll shout out the British entrepreneurial skills that we have over here, as well as what we can get in the States.
I must admit, this is all torture to me because I'm back on the old keto wagon at the moment, trying to lose a little bit of timber before I go on the old Mickey ship in a couple of weeks. I had been doing really, really well till we started talking about donuts.
Sorry. Well, it's only talking about it. You're not eating it, so that's okay.
True. But, for everybody, weight loss is a really, really difficult thing. And I'm just going to give myself a bit of self-love here and say that I've lost 10 pounds and I'm feeling good. So, well done me. But alas, there's quite a bit more to lose before I can fit into any of my Disney dresses.
But you'll get there.
I will, love. I will. Perseverance. Let's move away from food, though.
Okay.
I've noticed Halloween is starting to appear in the Magic Kingdom.
Michelle, it's only just August, for goodness sake.
I know, it's really weird because we in past have always gone to the theme parks in August because it's when we get our summer holidays. And it's really weird that you have to time it just right to get your theme park pictures before they put up the Halloween decorations. But the rate that they're going, they'll be starting to put the Halloween decorations up in July now, and we'll never get to see the park normal. We'll just get Halloween in July, which is really weird.
Yeah, I must admit, going back quite a few years now, we always tend to go as late on in August as possible, purely because we're tied to our school holidays over here, and because the later in August you went, we just saw a slight dip in the cost. So if you can take advantage of it, you take advantage of it, wouldn't you? And I remember being there the first time thinking, what's going on? What's this orange and brown? Didn't dawn on me at all. I was thinking, is it some sort of Thanksgiving thing? No, it can't be Thanksgiving because that's not till November. And it took me a while to realise. But back then it was a case of we maybe had, 8-10 days of our vacation without. So we're talking back then, it would have been literally maybe the last week of August, kind of as you're moving, is it Labour Day weekend, that sort of time span, So it didn't feel too bad when I realised what they were doing. But beginning of August just feels a little bit, like you say, if anybody coming into the parks who are restricted to going at this time of year, you're not going to get to see the parks without Halloween, are you? So I don't know. It's a difficult one.
Yeah, but those of you who are going to be going this year and enjoying the Halloween festivities, please spam us with all your lovely pictures and reviews on the revised Halloween offerings this year. So it'd be really nice to see it.
Definitely.
So I now want to pop on over to Disneyland.
Okay.
And I was reading a bit of an article that I found online. It's not actually on CNN Travel. And there was a lady called Meghan Marples, who's a CNN reporter, and she went to Disneyland and she did a little bit of a sort of an article sort of reviewing what she felt it was like to be back in that wonderful theme park that we both love.
Okay.
And I thought it was quite interesting to see what she said. She did happen to visit the weekend after July the 4th, so a very busy time, school's out.
Yeah, busy weekend, I would have thought anyway,
Yeah.
regardless, yeah.
And these are just some of the things that she sort of mentioned. Firstly, you've obviously got the reservation system. You can't just rock up at the park and walk in. You've got to have the reservation.
Yeah.
And she said that social distancing basically had been taken back.
Okay.
Within 2 hours of the park's opening, the crowds would fill the walkways. Everywhere was quite close. You know, she said at times she felt like people were just brushing past her shoulders and in some of the high traffic areas. So I'm imagining things like when you're going past Star Tours, for example, that walkway gets really, really busy.
I mean, it's always been a park that you're very aware of the crowds anyway. From my own experience there, it always felt very closed in and lots of people. And I would imagine going back somewhere into those sorts of crowds when we've not experienced that for, I don't know, in some cases, 18 months or more. It's going to be a bit of a weird feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. She said that the food offerings were vastly reduced. You couldn't get certain things, certain places weren't open, the menus had been shrunk. So
Yeah.
it was quite a challenge, you know, because those places had quite long queues as well. There's the mobile ordering system, but again, you have to be very adept at making sure you order at the right time to ensure that you could get the food when you actually want it, rather than 2-3 hours later.
Yeah.
No fast passes.
Ah, okay, yeah, of course.
Now, I do remember our lovely friend Joe, love you, Joe, he was there the other week and he was reporting back to me that the single rider lines had opened up on quite a few attractions when he was in the park. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, that'll help a bit, won't it? Yeah.
She mentioned about the characters being socially distant,
Wow,
being able
yeah.
to get that, which is across all the theme parks and also the cruise line as well. But she did say that despite all of the modifications, she did enjoy her trip just as much as pre-pandemic times. So I felt that was quite a nice report to say. So from that, I sort of thought, well, let's have a little bit of a look and see what actually is open and what isn't open with regards to attractions and whether it'd be a deal breaker. So in Disneyland, pretty much everything's open apart from the subs and the monorail. So I think that's quite good.
Yeah, that's pretty decent, yeah.
Some of the attractions have different opening times, so they might open a bit later or close a bit earlier by an hour or so.
See, I suppose this would actually feed into those of us who like to plan our visits by the fact that at least you'd be able to get in there and figure out what to do and when to do it and get your head around like the mobile food ordering. Because I know I have seen where people say, you need to be putting in your order for lunchtime at like 9 o'clock in the morning type of thing to guarantee getting what you want. And so that kind of would appeal, I suppose, to a little bit, Shell, to the geek in you and I of our Excel spreadsheets and planning these days with military precision.
Absolutely. Let's hop to Walt Disney World.
Okay.
So in Walt Disney World, Hall of Presidents, well, we're awaiting that big reveal of what it's going to look like with President Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. Railroads closed.
Is that purely because of the Tron and all that sort of construction?
Yeah, it's been closed for quite a while now. Canada Far and Wide, that little shows there, that's down. The Boneyard over in Animal Kingdom is closed, but I can guess why.
Yes, yeah.
And again, I don't know if you've ever been to this part, but in Epcot, where you can go inside Bruce's mouth and sort of do that funny face. I love those pictures.
Oh, we have photos, yes, yeah.
Enchanted Tales with Belle is down.
Okay.
And the Main Street Vehicles.
Yeah, I suppose it's any transport type thing is going to be affected, isn't it? Yeah.
But I didn't see the main street vehicles closed in the other parks, so I'm not quite sure about that one.
I suppose the thing with Disney World at the moment, there could be quite a few things that are down purely because of, getting refurbed ahead of October the 1st, with the 50th celebrations. I do keep seeing lots of things where I think I only saw this morning on a vlog to say that there's new paintwork had happened over in Hollywood Studios as you walk over into Toy Story Land, and things like that. So I would imagine there could be quite a lot of things happening where the Main Street vehicles, for example, might be out of service because they might be all getting new licks of paint. I don't know.
But another option is if it's a vehicle going up and down Main Street, it's reducing the social distance availability because people have to squash in a bit. I don't know. But joyous news, Jane. 8th of August, Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor opened. And I must admit, I've got a real soft spot for this. I used to hate it, I will be honest, but I just like going because every time you go, it's a bit of a different show. And it's aircon.
Absolutely. Well, double whammy then.
And Turtle Talk, that's going to open up on the 21st. Again, another show that the guests participate and it makes it a little bit different every time.
Yeah, I think that both of those shows, they are a unique take on something, and especially for the kids, they're both good ones taken with the kids, aren't they?
Yeah, that was quite interesting. And the only other park I've not mentioned is Disneyland Paris. Obviously, we're not going to go into the Far East and everything like that. We'll just talk about Paris. And the big thing about Disneyland Paris is the castle.
Yeah, big refurb happening, isn't there?
Yeah, so there's no dragon.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise you couldn't get to see the dragon.
No, you can't go down to see Le Tanier de Dragon. And you can't go up and see the Sleeping Beauty sort of story retold with the tapestries and the stained glass window.
Interesting to see how far the refurb goes, whether those two areas are getting refurbed as well or not, or just, I'm hoping that they don't get refurbed, as in they can refurb them and give them a lick of paint, but don't alter them, sort of thing.
Yeah. I they're perfect as they are. Don't touch them.
Yeah.
Don't touch them. Just
spruce them up.
Yeah. Orbitron, Pirates Gallery, and the shooting gallery thing, which I don't think any of the parks have got the shooting things open at the moment because of the COVID word.
Yeah. And again, it's hygiene, etc., isn't it?
Yeah. That's a quick run round about what's open and what isn't. But whilst we're talking about Disneyland Paris...
Yes.
My lovely friend Tracy Farley messaged me this morning, just literally before we went on air, and she said, have you seen? There's evidence popping up now on social media showing about the extra paid fast passes at Disneyland Paris.
Ah, yes, because these are just coming into action, aren't they, as we record, I would imagine.
Yeah. I think the first day there was a bit of chaos because guests who are choosing to buy these passes are going down what used to be the existing fast pass line.
Oh, right, okay.
So there was a lot of mulling around and whatever, but basically you go on the app and it'll scroll through and you can buy a fast pass.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Ratatouille, €12.
Right.
And you get an hour's slot, so you click buy and then you purchased it. And then obviously if there's 4 of you, wow. Yeah. €48 for one attraction, which you can still line up and get on.
And don't they do single rider as well at Ratatouille?
I don't know if it's reopened though.
Ah, okay, maybe
I'm
not.
not sure. Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, €15, Jane.
Ah, so they are kind of doing what we suspected then, Michelle, of actually giving a weighting to different types of rides.
Yeah.
But like you say, €15, if there's just 2 of you, that's €30 gone just like that, isn't it?
I must admit, if I was on my own and I was on a short trip and I only had maybe a day or 2 days and I wanted to crack in my favourites, then I probably would. It would be worth any €10 to get on Crush's Coaster without waiting 90 minutes.
But is Crush's Coaster one of the rides that you can do that on, Michelle?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is.
Just on the basis that it never used to be a fast pass ride, did it?
No, they haven't got fast pass there. I will clarify though, because I know a lot of people have asked me about this. They are still offering what Disneyland Paris called the green card, and this is if you have a disability and you're able to have proof, i.e. a dated doctor's letter within the last month, detailing the reason why you need an accommodation, and then you can get a hierarchy of pass where you are able to access attractions without having the wait. But it's not a let's jump to the front of the line thing. It's more of, you can book and go on this attraction without the wait. You can go and wait somewhere else type thing.
Yeah.
So thought I'd just clarify that up a little bit.
It's going to be interesting to see how the whole pay fast pass thing actually does, isn't it? Whether they get the take up that they need to justify it, and whether those prices increase at different times or decrease at different times of the year.
And whether they're testing it out at Paris to put it into the other parks.
Well, this is the big rumour, isn't it? That if it works well in one place, then surely to goodness it's going to get passed over to other parks as well, you would think. I mean, we know that Universal have their own paid version of this anyway, so... It'll be a sad thing, because obviously it was one thing that you could always cite about Disney was at least there was a fast pass system there, but it was free, which was a bonus over the likes of Universal. But, you know, with everything that's gone on in this last year and a half, if it's another way that Disney can generate more cash coming into the system, then they're going to end up doing it, aren't they, I think, unfortunately.
End of the day, Disney is a business. They're not a charity.
No.
They operate to make money for their shareholders and the company itself. So they're not going to, sort of say, yeah, you can come in for $20. Yeah, have a laugh. Be okay. Nah.
And then it's up to us as patrons, isn't it, to decide how much of that money, our hard-earned money, that we want to give up. And it's like, if you're not prepared to put your hand in your pocket for €15 or whatever it is to ride Tower of Terror, then don't complain about the wait time, I suppose, is the argument.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so looking ahead, Janie, I'm just thinking August is going to be a very busy month for us.
Yeah. You more so than me, Michelle, because you're gallivanting all over the place, aren't you?
I am doing a bit of gallivanting, and I will say now, guys, there will not be a show next weekend because I'm going away for a week. There will be more details about this on our latest Patreon show, so I'm not going to go into details then. I think we'll do a show when I get back. So we'll probably have a show for you that'll go out on the 22nd of August, and then we'll probably miss a week, and then we'll be back again on the 5th of September. If you do want to have some Disney Dream Girls goodness in your life, you can always pop on over to our Patreon channel, where there are some exclusive, never heard anywhere else shows, and for a few dollars you can help support the show, help us keep running, and also you get access to every single show we've ever released for a few dollars a month, and our lifelong thanks.
Absolutely. There's a lot of shows there to get through, Michelle.
Absolutely. You can also visit us over on Instagram at DisDreamGirls and Twitter, because we will be posting lots of content about what we're both up to over there over the next couple of weeks till we are back with our next show. But until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.